the way to ensure that stability is to ensure that we are able to defend a deal in Ukraine.
I want to sort of put to you what will be on the minds of millions of British people. With your commitment in the event of a peace deal to deploy British soldiers to Ukraine, is there now a more real prospect of Britain being at war with Russia? Can you rule that out?
The whole point of a guarantee for any deal, or if there is a deal, is to preserve the peace. And if you want to preserve the peace, you have to be prepared to defend the peace. So the reason I've been forward-leaning on this is because I want to avoid conflict, because I do not want conflict in Ukraine, in Europe, and certainly not in the United Kingdom. I want stability in the United Kingdom. The way to ensure that stability is to ensure that we are able to defend a deal in Ukraine, because the one thing our history tells us is that if there is conflict in Europe, it will wash up on our shores. And already in the last 3 years, what's happened in Ukraine has had a massive impact on many working people back here in the United Kingdom, because their bills have gone up, their energy bills have gone up. There's been an instability in our economy caused by that conflict. So we are not unaffected by it. And of course, our own security and defence depends on the defence and security of Europe. So every step I am taking is in order to preserve peace, to avoid conflict, because the safety and security of the British people is my number one duty and responsibility, and I take it very seriously. Thank you. Chris at the BBC.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Chris Mason, BBC News. After what happened the other night between Presidents Trump and Zelensky, do you feel a greater personal responsibility alongside President Macron and others for delivering a workable peace? And on the coalition of the willing, as you've described it today, are you persuading more people to join it? Thank you.
On the question of responsibility, I do think the United Kingdom should step up and lead. We have done that historically as a nation, and we need to do it again. And that is why we're moving forward on this. On the coalition of the willing, yes, a number of countries have indicated today that they want to be part of the plan that we are developing. I'll leave them to make their own statements about exactly how they want to make that contribution. But we've been able to move that forward. I accept without criticism and with respect the position of other countries that may not feel that they want to contribute in that way. But I strongly feel that unless some move forward, we will stay in the position we're in and not be able to move forward. And therefore, it is a deliberate plan to ensure that we get some momentum and pace here. And it is intended to preserve the peace, and it's intended to ensure that we stay in lockstep with the United States, which is my strongly held belief the best way to preserve security and defence in Europe and security and defence in the United Kingdom.